Hey guys, welcome back. Got a nice spot here by the lake today. I'm up at the house and it's a rainy day, but I don't mind. I'm here in my lawn chair with my raincoat and a little umbrella and it's time to get this third movie in the 50 Shades of Grey series taken care of here. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit excited to get through this one. Because I'll say it's a pretty funny series. It's rather absurd, but it ain't exactly my cup of tea. And there's a little bit of silliness going on in this one, and we'll get into it. But to catch you up a little bit, if this is your first time here, I covered the last two movies, and long story short, there's kind of an abusive, crazy relationship between a girl named Anastasia Steele and a man named Christian Grey. And in the second movie, there's a man named Jack Hyde who becomes obsessed with Anastasia and wants to ruin she and Christian's lives. And at the end of the second movie, Christian proposes to Anastasia and she accepts. So that's where we leave off. But little do they know that Jack Hyde has hatched a master plan to make sure their marriage don't last too long. So anyway, the movie kicks off with Christian and Anastasia getting married. And pretty much as soon as the festivities are going on, Christian says, "Hey, I'm already tired of this scene. I'm tired of sharing you with the riffraff." That's verbatim what he says. So he takes Anastasia. They get in the car and he peels out of there and nearly runs a bunch of people over on the way out. Which, if you've been following this series at all, shouldn't be surprising. Christian Grey is a little bit of a nut job, to put it lightly. So anyway, he takes her straight to a private jet, and Anastasia says, "Do you own this?" And Christian says, "No, we own this now." Welcome to the circle jerk. Yeah, now you're in the rich people club, Anastasia, so get ready to party. So they take the private jet to their honeymoon on a Mediterranean coast. Appears to be Italy, not sure, they never say. And anyway, it is at this location that they have their first marital spat. And this one is one for the ages because Anastasia, she sees all the other ladies with their tops off, and she says, "Hey, Christian, I'd like to take my boobies out too." But Christian says, "No, you will not." And when he ain't looking, Anastasia, she whips them out anyway. And to no one's surprise, Christian wigs out and takes her straight back to the yacht on his little jet ski. He says, "All right, them titties coming out, I'm taking you to the boat to punish you." And while all of this, these shenanigans are going on, Jack Hyde is back stateside and he has become an elite undercover spy, which is surprising because he was kind of just your regular old everyday street bum in the last movie. But here in this one, he sneaks straight into Grey Corporation and he steals some important data, and then he blows up part of the building. And when Christian learns about this, he reveals to Anastasia that he'd done some research on Jack Hyde, and it turned out that Jack is also likely the one that sabotaged his chopper in the second movie. And if you didn't see the second one, there was a point where Christian was flying around in a little chopper and the damn engine blew out. And he comes spiraling down and strikes the ground and the damn thing exploded. And Christian somehow survived, but come to find out that Jack might have done sabotage that thing. So anyway, the plot is thickening quickly here. And the plot continues to thicken when a huge plot twist occurs. And I'm telling you, this one's a real bombshell. So when Anastasia and Christian get home from their honeymoon, the next day at work, Christian figures out that Anastasia has not changed her email address to reflect that her last name is now Gray. And when he finds this out, he bursts into her office and demands that she change it. Okay? He says, "We married now, and I can't believe you hadn't changed your email." And I tell you what, when I saw that plot twist, it just blew my mind. But anyway, Anastasia, she says, "No, I ain't gonna change it. I'm staying Anastasia Steele on my work email." And she flees the office and jumps into a supercar. But Christian's a lot faster than she is, and he's already in the passenger seat by the time she gets into it. But for some reason, she continues to flee, even though he's present in the car with her, and she takes off speeding. And while she's speeding around in this supercar, they suddenly are chased by a random SUV. And suddenly Anastasia becomes a goddamn race car driver. I mean, she's hitting ramps, she's drifting, and she's nailing turns in excess of 150 miles an hour. So finally she hits a big ass ramp and goes flying off a bridge, nails the landing, and they escape. And when they review the security footage, it shows that the SUV driver was none other than Jack Hyde. And when they get done reviewing the security footage, they head home. And as soon as they open the front door, Jack Hyde has somehow beat them there, and he comes jumping out of the closet, running straight at Anastasia, and he's like, "Ha ha, I got you now." But he is pretty much immediately tackled by security and arrested by police. And it's kind of a strange tonal shift there because, he went from being an elite operative that could bust into a highly defended corporation and steal data and blow shit up to just getting tackled by a rent-a-cop. And so I guess he forgot how to be elite all of a sudden. He's back to being a bum on the street. But anyway. So Anastasia and Christian, they're a little bit shook up by the whole thing. They say, "Man, forget this. We're going to Aspen." And in Aspen, they ski and hike and stay at a beautiful mountain mansion. And one night, they decide to go hit the club. And while they're at the club, a bald asshole comes over and gropes Anastasia and says, "Hey, baby, what's going on?" And he attacks Christian, and Christian somehow becomes Muhammad Ali and knocks his ass out. He's bobbing, he's weaving, he's floating like a bee. He delivers the uppercut, and he knocks Mr. Baldy straight on his ass. And when Anastasia sees that, she immediately grabs Christian and starts making out with him. And guys, I tell you what, I don't know what was more riveting, the whole snafu about the email address or the bar brawl at the club. But either way, this third movie is knocking it out of the park. But anyway, when they come back from Aspen, the police chief visits Anastasia, and he says to her, "I realized that Jack Hyde was hiding in your house, and he busted out of the closet and held a knife to your throat." And he said, "I'm going to kidnap you and I'm going to do all sorts of weird stuff to you. But, with all that in mind, as far as the law is concerned, it's just a bunch of he said, she said bullshit. So all that to say, we releasing Jack Hyde. We got nothing to hold him on. And, I figured you'd appreciate me letting you know about that. But, anyway, good luck out there. Hope you have a good one. And I'll talk to you later." And, Anastasia, she ain't too thrilled about that. So she tells Christian, and he's pissed. But you know what? He's even more pissed when Anastasia reveals that all the partying they've been doing has caused her to become pregnant. And when Christian learns this, if you thought he was crazy before, he's an absolute lunatic now. He says, "Anastasia, what the hell?" He says the party was just getting started, and now it's already fucking over. And you know what? I don't want to change any diapers or deal with any freaking poop. So he leaves, Anastasia's all alone. And the next day at work, she receives a call. And the call is from, you guessed it, Jack Hyde. And he says, Anastasia, I got your boy down here. And when he says that, he's actually referring to Mia, who is Christian's sister, who has barely been in the movies at all. You wouldn't know who she was unless they explicitly said this is Mia, and it is Christian's sister who has been kidnapped. But anyway, Jack Hyde, he says, hey, I want $5 million or I'm about to turn Mia into some goddamn sushi. So Anastasia, she says, I'll get the money. So she grabs it and heads down to the dock where Mia's being held. And as soon as she arrives, Jack Hyde jogs straight up to her and punches her in the face. Then when she's on the ground, he soccer kicks her in the belly and she falls into a coma. But before she falls into the coma, she whips out a pistol and shoots Jack Hyde right in the dick. And then she falls into the coma. And after that, the cops arrive, Christian's with them. They take Anastasia to the hospital and she slowly recovers. And at the hospital, Christian, he repents. He says he decided that he wants to have the baby. And he says that the baby survived a soccer kick, which is really impressive. And he is very impressed by the baby's fortitude and endurance. So now that the baby's proven it himself, Christian's happy to have him. And of course, being the 50 Shades series, they go straight home and do some hanky-panky to celebrate. And then we get a little epilogue that shows them years later, Anastasia and Christian, and they are shown living in a lake house mansion with their son, Teddy, and Anastasia's pregnant again with their second child. So, at least for the time being, looks like they live happily ever after until Jack Hyde inevitably gets out of prison due to the charges just being some he said, she said bullshit. But that's how the trilogy ends. And thank God for that. I wanted to start this channel with something that was easy to cut my teeth on in case I, messed everything up. But gotta say, I'm happy to be done with that one. And, there'll be brighter days ahead. We'll cover some other stuff that's a little more my speed. But for now, that's a wrap. And ladies and gentlemen, just to reiterate, I can't believe I watched this. I will say it was surprisingly funny at times. There is a lot of silly stuff that goes down in this series, so I wouldn't bury it too far underground, but I will say it may not be the best representation of romantic relationships. Let's just get that disclaimer out there. Everybody likes what they like. I will say that, but it's not what I like. But anyway, I appreciate y'all being here with me. And if you like remembering stuff with me, you can hit the button down there and check in when I talk about some other stuff. And as always, I appreciate y'all being here, and I'll talk to you again soon.